Hey, what's up everybody? Rob Marzullo here, Ram Studio Comics. Welcome back. In today's video, I want to demonstrate the Symmetry ruler inside of Sketchbook Pro. A lot of these programs have them now. I know Manga Studio's got a real good one. I'm not sure if Photoshop does or whatever other programs out there. Those are the primary ones that I use. But I'll be demonstrating this one today, and I want to show you how to create some cool alien type heads. You see I got a couple little practice runs here. I could keep detailing this crazy thing here, but I'm going to just downsize it and move them off to the side. So what I do is I try to think outside of the box and, come up with some real weird, just kooky stuff. Like this guy over here has got two necks. I guess when one neck's just not enough, two necks. So never know when you need a second neck. Okay, so what you do is drop the symmetry ruler on with this button here. You can obviously go, vertical, horizontal, or both. You can add both, and you can do some neat kind of kaleidoscope effects. But I'm not going to demonstrate that. I just want to show you how what I think helps with this as far as creating, conceptualizing characters, and in this case, aliens, monsters, things like that. So one thing I do recommend is locking it once you got it into place. So you move it around like this. Lock it into place, and now you can draw freely and you won't accidentally move your ruler, which is not a big deal. You could just replace it, but just lock it and you're good to go. Okay, hold space bar, zoom in. Now I just want to run through it with you, a little bit of what I think about when I try to create these characters. If I'm doing something alien in nature, I almost always start with the eyes, but I always try to think of something different as far as placement goes. It's real easy to fall into a rut of what you're comfortable doing and what you do all the time. So a way to break that rut is to really try to think outside of the box and just go, in the opposite direction. One thing that you can do if you're really trying to come up with something that doesn't have any predisposed confinements of what you're trying to create, you could just scribble. Right, so I'll do something like this to show you what I'm talking about, and it's going to be really quirky looking at first or whatever, but if you're doing an alien, stuff like this can be fun because it just really helps you free up the brain box, because you're so used to going, oh, here's a nose, oh, here's a mouth, oh, here's the cheekbones, that you'll find yourself doing that almost instinctively. So sometimes you got to really think of new ways to break those mental barriers. So I'll lighten this down with a soft erase, and then I'll just slowly pick up some of the lines that, obviously I already had my eyes drawn in, so I'll go with that. And then nostrils, it's real easy to do two nostrils, but it's an alien, so it could have a third nostril, fourth, fifth, whatever. So you got to think in terms of that. You don't always have to, it might not even have nostrils. Might not even breathe air, it could breathe liquid or something, I don't know, whatever. Okay, I'm not going to get into the perplexities of trying to figure out the background of the character and what they are and why they are what they are. I'm just going to draw because I'm not really that bright when it comes to all that crap, so I'm just going to draw the peaks here and let somebody smarter than me figure out all that other stuff. Okay. And I immediately went to just drawing some kind of downturned pooch face. But I want to use some of these rough lines that I just kind of threw in there. So these obviously look like horns, but I don't want him to be too horny there, or have horns. You know what I mean. Don't take that out of context, folks. Please. Just keep it clean. Okay, so what do I see in these scribbles? I might have to put down more scribbles. I'm trying to see something different in here. I'm trying to overlap the shapes. He's looking really crazy. Something like that, maybe. I don't know. I'm struggling. This is part of the process, so sometimes that's going to happen. Bear with me here. Ideas just don't flow out sometimes. Sometimes you got to work for it. And when in doubt, just do some weird, creepy little breaks in the facial features and lots of texturing. One thing I want to touch on with the Symmetry ruler, one of the things that I think really make it beneficial is that it allows you to, obviously you're way faster because it's drawing the other side for you. So you're allowed to think a little bit more about just design and not so much about obviously symmetry, obviously going back and forth and trying to line things up. That's a huge burden that it removes from you as an artist because we're constantly trying to get things to look right as we're creating our character. But then it also makes you, I would say, not think so much about conceptualizing and coming up with something new and different because you're so worried about, oh, I got to get this right and this isn't lining up right or this isn't the right shape. So you start to almost, again, go for what you know and do stuff that you're comfortable with so that you can get, you can make it a little easier on yourself to get through the process. So with this Symmetry ruler on, it takes some of that burden off and you're able to think a little bit more about just creating some design elements. If that makes any sense. At least that's what I feel, and I haven't used this a lot. I'll be honest, I just started using it and I'm like addicted or something. It's really an interesting tool and an interesting way to get that concept down quicker. I must have did like 20 or so of these alien heads in the past week, and yeah, I'm just having fun with it. And I'm not saying that I can't draw alien heads without this or whatever. It just seems to be giving me a little bit more of a a free-flowing feel to the process. If that makes any sense to you. But so yeah, so this guy's starting to look a little bit better. I think I'm starting to work through it. Obviously as I start to shade out certain areas, it'll really start to take life. It's kind of why I did this quick mock-up over here of the, it looks like some kind of aquatic, looks like that dude off He-Man when I was a kid. I can't remember his name. I'm sure somebody will correct me in the comment section below or remind us of who that character is. Aquatic dude? I cannot remember his name. That's horrible. I was a huge He-Man fan growing up. Alright, so, so here's our alien monster thing. Wanted to give him like something else in the chin area here. The chin just looks too plain. So maybe, again, some more segments. And the other thing that's nice with this Symmetry on is texturing is way faster. Texturing a lot of times gets a little bit boring, I think. But with this, it's just so much faster. It's almost a shame that, you can't do this in some, sort of perspective or I'm sure that'll get invented, at some point where you can actually draw one side of the face and it will distort into an angular perspective for you. That'll really make us artists lazy. You won't even have to do that. And I'm going to chime in right now because I know somebody's probably going to say something about, this making you lazy as an artist and that you should work on your symmetry to strengthen your eye, which is very true. But keep in mind that, this is more of a way to put down your character and get a form, a concept down, and then later on you can practice your symmetry. I practice symmetry all the time. You should practice symmetry all the time, but this isn't the purpose of this particular video and demonstration. This is to, again, just really work out some of the ideas of the character and freeing up that process because we get so caught up in just doing what we are comfortable with. And that can be very stagnating as an artist. It can really hinder you in your creativity. So you gotta do stuff like this and really mess around. I'm going to show you another quick technique too to break that mental barrier as well. All right, and I can just keep going and going. I love sitting here and doing the rendering, so that this is the part where I could really dump a few more hours into this guy and try to bring him to life or whatever, but I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to go ahead and stop right there with his crazy cat eyes. All right, so there's another alien dude. Shrink him down, move him over, and just keep pumping these suckers out. And then the other thing to keep in mind is to always try, let me set up another one here real quick. Always try different shapes at the start of your design of your character. And I'll go ahead and do that right now. I'll block this in with, what brush here? Sorry, I'm a little out of water. I just updated the new version of this and I'm not entirely sure where everything is. All right, I'll use this brush. Okay, so all I'm going to do here, create another layer, is I'm going to go ahead and block in. I'm going to examine the shapes that I have, right? So this one here is like this, I don't know, kind of shape like that, somewhere in there. Okay, this one here is almost identical, or not identical, but similar, something like that, even though it looks like I just drew the head on Yoda. And this one here is just kind of weird and starfish, kind of, I don't know what that is. So I'm examining the silhouettes of these. It's always important to identify what silhouettes you're doing so that you can change it or you can do something unique or different or whatever. And a lot of times if your character has a very strong silhouette, people are going to identify better with it. Something about us, when we look at a character, we immediately identify and relate to the silhouette in some way. So I don't know about relate to it, but we see it as either being a good or bad piece of artwork based on the silhouette. All right, so let's go ahead and take and try something different than what we've got. I'll just go ahead and rough in some kind of silhouette here. Block it in. And it doesn't have to, you don't have to draw your silhouettes like I just did there, like this or something. It's like Batman, but you don't have to do that. You can block pieces in. So let me show you what I mean by that. Let's try, I don't know, let's just try a shape like this. Shape like this. It's almost like a Rorschach test. And then you just basically figure out if any of it's working. If you start seeing anything into it, I'm still not seeing nothing. Starting to. Control Z back if you have to. Kind of like that. Yeah, we'll just roll with that. So, okay, so this has allowed me to quickly block in a head shape, right? And say for a neck, we'll do a little skinny neck on this one. We'll leave a separation where because I don't remember what this chin or mouth opening looks like or whatever. So I'll just do a little neck piece like this. So there's a head and bust silhouette of our character. We'll give him a little pointed shoulders or something. Kind of looks insect-like anyways. Okay, so there's that. So now we take this, drop it way down, add another layer over top, get in here and start noodling. And, again, you could even still keep with the free-flowing effect, and you could scribble inside of here to give yourself some more ideas. I should say, if you don't have ideas and you're trying to spark creativity, you can just kind of loosely scribble some stuff in here to see if anything sticks or pops out. Unless you're, it's not conducive with your style and you're more the type that likes to slowly figure it all out, you can just get in there and slowly draw it in. Like I'll always kind of start with these eyes and then work my way out. Maybe it's got two sets of eyes. Maybe the nose we'll do like an inverted nose. Nose doesn't obviously have to come outward. So we'll do something like that. Maybe that's its nose. And we'll have these kind of things coming off the face. Which is nice because I always, one of my confinements when I'm drawing is I always do the cheekbone thing. So I'm always wanting to put cheekbones right here, slope downward into a jawline. It's just really hard for me to break. And that's just something I have to identify with my art and try to get past. It doesn't have to have cheekbones every time. Just got to really see those things in your style and work past them. One of the things that I'm seeing right here that's already bothering me is it's looking really flat. So I have to figure out a way to make this, maybe these segments right here of the head roll back further. So to do that, I'm going to try to show these ridges that recess back. I'm even going to change the design just a little bit to try to recede that backwards. And the other thing to keep in mind is I'm not committed to any one part of this yet. I'm never committed in, any drawing, like, unless it's a character that's already been developed and I'm trying to recreate that character, and then it's got to be drawn a certain way, then I've got a lot more restrictions to what I'm doing. But if it's something like this where I'm conceptualizing, I can change at the drop of a dime. I'm not stuck in any one area to go, oh, it's got to be this way, it's got to look this certain way. You don't want to do that, because again, that's another mental barrier that will hold you back from creating something cool and different. And if you notice too, I'm not zooming in at all. I'm doing that intentionally. I'm trying to get as much information back here from a distance so I can kind of see the whole thing at a single glance and get as much of that data in there. And then I can, in the refinement process, that's when I would zoom in and start really trying to bring it out and give it that next level of detail. But you don't want to do that too early on, in my opinion. Okay, so he's got kind of these weird like tusk things going on right there. To try to build depth, I want to add some shapes of shadows just to push some of this stuff back a little bit. Maybe this has got a pretty heavy shadow there. Good shadow under here. Alright, let's take off our silhouette. And just as I suspected, he is weird looking. But that's okay, because on his planet, he's actually good looking. You just never know. That's why I like drawing aliens. No one can tell me that I did it wrong. Like, dude, your alien's so incorrect. Like, there's no way you could say that. You've never met this dude. Or dudette. Or whatever it is. Okay. I'm zoning out here. I am a little sleep deprived. I just got off a big job, so. Alright, so let's go ahead and what else can I do to this cat? Alright, so now I could convert it obviously to blue line. I'd do that by locking transparency, grabbing a larger brush. Let's say this pencil brush, clicking here, grabbing a blue line of some kind, sizing the brush up really large. And just like that, I got some blue line. Then I can go back to the black, like that, add another layer. And then I can get in there and add a little bit more finish work. So yeah, so that's about it in a nutshell as far as what I've been doing to utilize the Symmetry ruler to create and conceptualize cool alien creatures. And, from here you just play around and experiment, try different shapes, try different effects, different brushes, and really just have fun with it. So hopefully this has been informational for you and educational and fun to watch. If it has, be sure to like, share, and subscribe, all that fun jazz. And let me know what you'd like to see in the future. Also want to take this time to say my apologies if I can't answer everybody back. I'm getting a lot of comments on the channel. And thank you so much for that support. I really appreciate that. Unfortunately, it does make it to where I can't answer every comment all the time. I do my absolute best, and I try to read almost all of them. So keep in mind that I am trying to see the information, so I do appreciate the feedback. Don't stop that. But if I don't respond to you, please don't feel that there's any reason for that. I just basically get really busy. I do this. I do storyboards, freelance illustration. So I get a little bit busy. Oh yeah, and I draw my Blackstone comic. So yeah, I am a very busy guy. So I do appreciate everything, and I'm gonna go ahead and time lapse this next portion and show you what I come up with this dude. And be sure to let me know what you think. So as always, thanks for watching. Keep drawing, keep having fun, and we will talk to you soon.